I've already cut up this French quail. If you look at it, you can see it's considerably bigger than an American quail, almost approaching the size of a small game hen. And this is the kind that Joël Robuchon used at La Table to do his grilled quail. So I've taken all of this to make a stock. Those are the wings and what's left of the body. And the part we'll actually use are the two breasts and the leg and thigh. And while the stock is cooking, I'm going to drip this with a little bit of cognac so it can marinate. Well, the bones have been browned now. I've got a nice caramelization on the bottom. And I'm going to put in some white wine and some water. Scrape all those bits up and then let it cook for about, a half an hour or so, maybe 40 minutes. You have a nice rich stock base, and we'll continue with that later on. Well, here's the stock. I just took the bones out and strained it. This needs to reduce a little bit. Notice that was a very small quail. If you were doing this for 10 or 15 people and you had 10 or 15 quails, you'd have more stock than that. But this just needs to reduce for a moment, and then you can finish it however you want to finish it. Traditionally, cognac's a nice way to do it. I'm going to put some port in because I'm just in the mood for that today. We'll put that in and let it all go down to a little syrup. And when it gets there, the last thing, you can just leave that and then come back to it, warm it up, and you want to put butter into it. But when you do the butter, you just turn it off the heat and then swirl it in gently to keep it from clouding the stock. Robuchon used to stuff the breast of the quail with foie gras, and that's just fine if you have it. But if you don't, here's a nice substitution. This is Minnesota wild rice with corn, and I also have the liver of the quail in that, so you just put that in there. Then you roll this breast together, and you do this with a plastic wrap like this, and just kind of tuck it over and roll it. And the next step will be to cook this in boiling water in the plastic just to get it to set up. The water is boiling, so we'll put these little breasts in this and poach them for a couple of minutes until they firm up. The final step is to finish the quail. So we start with the legs and some melted butter there. You could use clarified, but we're going to use a low temperature for this. Game has so very little fat that it will toughen if you try to cook it at a high heat. So we're going to do that moderately, and we'll start with the legs because they have not been touched at all. I remember when the first Atelier de Joël Robuchon opened in Paris in 2003. It was in August, in the middle of a terrible heat wave, and it was one of the few places that was air conditioned. And so I went right in for lunch one day and had this very quail dish when it was unveiled, and I thought it was just fantastic. Today I'm going to be serving it with some smashed peas because it's springtime. He did it with his famous mashed potatoes, and that can be a subject for another video. Now I'm adding the breast with the skin side down. Here are our smashed peas, and we'll put the quail on the plate next. And then the sauce, we could probably just dribble it in and out all around. And maybe some chervil to decorate the plate. Well, maybe those would look better on the... Let's try it this way. And there you have it. Joël Robuchon's famous quail.